It's your boy Davidoff. Welcome back to Movie Monday. I have got my Justice League t-shirt ready for the Snyder Cut. Zack Snyder's Justice League is finally here. We've been waiting a while. The original movie in 2017, obviously that was a complete mess and it wasn't Zack's fault, it was the studio's fault. And obviously we know what happened. No need to go over that, but it was a 2-hour movie and about half of it was not Zack Snyder. And this one's 4 hours long. This new cut, this director's cut, is 4 hours long. So that's about 3 hours of unseen footage. So I'm looking forward to it a lot. Apparently there's some crazy things in there, including more the nightmare scene, things from the future. I'm not going to I've seen reviews, haven't seen any spoilers, but I've heard about certain things that do feature in here, and I'm aware that Darkseid is in this, which is awesome. I cannot wait to see. I've seen it in the trailers, but I cannot wait to see what a proper live-action movie Darkseid is like. I cannot wait. I mean, Thanos was amazing. Marvel brought in Thanos, and that was awesome. But now I need to see Darkseid from DC. I hope they do him right, and hopefully this movie leads to future Zack Snyder Justice League movies, because I feel that he needs to complete his vision. You know, it wasn't just this movie, there was more movies coming. So I hope that he gets to complete his vision. I haven't seen this one yet, so I'm not going to judge it. I'm going to watch it first, because I'm so excited. I probably won't speak through it. I usually do speak through movies when I do Movie Mondays, but for this one I'm so excited, I want to catch every detail. So I need to watch it with my eyes, and I'll tell you my thoughts afterwards. If I do like it, I'll watch it again, and I'll talk through that. So yeah, that's how this video should go. So in the UK, there is no HBO Max. So what does that mean? Well, they've made a deal with Sky. Usually Sky are the ones that show HBO shows like Game of Thrones, The Wire, The Sopranos, True Detective. You know, big Boardwalk Empire, big popular HBO shows are usually shown on Sky, on a channel called Sky Atlantic. They have a deal, HBO, Warner Brothers, they have a deal with Sky to show their stuff. And it's normally just TV shows. But now with HBO Max, they've also added in the Zack Snyder Justice League to Sky Cinema, which is actually different to Sky Entertainment, which shows Game of Thrones, etc. It's like separate things, but part of Sky Cinema. So there's two options to watch this on Sky Cinema. Either you get a Sky subscription, which is like an 18-month contract. I'm not going to do that because I'm with someone else. But there is an alternative that Sky offer, and it's called Now TV. It is a streaming service that offers Sky services on an on-demand sort of thing, and you can cancel anytime. But it's like separate things that you buy. You can't just get everything. You can choose sports, you can choose entertainment, you can choose movies. You can pay for all of them, but that's a lot of money. But you can choose different passes. I want sports for a month, and then you can cancel it, for example, and you know, they give you offers and stuff. It's pretty good. Not for live TV as much, because it's usually 2 minutes behind the broadcast. So when you're watching the Premier League through Now TV, it's a bit like it's 2 minutes behind. But aside from that, you know, it's pretty good. You get a good selection of movies. So if you pick the Sky Movies Pass, you get a great selection. And I've used a free trial once to watch Harry Potter movies. Haven't used it aside from that, to be honest. I've used the Entertainment Pass a bit more because, you know, it's got like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead on it. But aside from that, you know, I barely use it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't use it that often. But sometimes I do, and obviously this is the only way I can watch it. You know, I mean, there's other ways to watch it, but I want to support the movie. Okay, so I'm not going to get a Sky contract, so it's got to be Now TV. So just a couple issues, right? First of all, it's in a 4:3 ratio, which I'm not a fan of. I'm going to watch it on my 4K OLED LG TV, 55-inch. I would prefer that it's full screen, but it's in a 4:3 ratio. But if that's how Zack Snyder wants the movie to be shown, then fine, I will respect it. I just would prefer it was in a full screen ratio. The other thing is not the fault of Zack Snyder or DC or Warner Brothers. The other thing is the fault of Sky themselves with Now TV. So on Sky, if you get the contract, you can watch it in 4K. You can watch Sky in 4K. You can watch this Snyder Cut in 4K, and it's great. But I don't have that. On Now TV, they have no 4K, and it's 720p. It's 720p, and if you want to get Full HD 1080p, you have to pay £3 extra. It's $11.99 a month for their movie collection, right? You can cancel any time, but it's $11.99 a month, which I just paid for, and they want you to pay £3 extra to get Full HD. Otherwise, it's 720p. I think that's out of order, to be honest. It's not that I can't afford it, but it's just out of order. So you know what? I'm not going to pay for that. I'm going to watch in 720p, in 4:3 ratio, on an LG TV, OLED TV. It's a bit of a wait, to be honest. I could watch it on my monitor. Probably won't be that much difference. But you know what? Screw it. I'll watch it on my TV. So, by the way, I'm standing in a different room because someone in another room is making a racket. Some sort of dance class, I don't know. But, yeah. Let me just go watch the movie now. Does it have to be in 4:3? There's more screen on the sides. Why? I'm not gonna play it because of copyright, but I'm pretty sure Zack Snyder's right there in a scene. That's funny. 4 hours later. So good. So good. 4 hours of excellence. Okay, so I've watched it twice now. I'm gonna watch it a third time in a bit, you know, and I'm gonna talk through it. I'm gonna do a spoiler talk. Usually I do my spoiler talks after the movie. I note down what I can, I talk about it in a video, but the advantage of home release is I can watch it as I go along and actually remember every detail I can talk about. So that's a good thing. It's a 4-hour movie, so I'll try and limit what I say, but anything I'm gonna say is anything that's cool, anything I have questions about, I'm going to mention it in my spoiler talk coming up. For now, it's non-spoilers, and you might have some questions. You know, you might have some questions saying, is it better than the 2017 version? And yes, it's a lot better. They improved every single character. Like, that's no exaggeration. They improved every character. I'll tell you how in a second. Well, not in the best explanation, but I'll tell you why in a second. And you might ask, is it the same movie? No, I would say no. There are plot points that are the same, you know, they got to get the 3 Marvel boxes, Steppenwolf's got to get it, but Steppenwolf's motivation is, it's similar, but also very different. There's 3 hours of new footage, you know, so that's completely different. There's more the nightmare scene as well, which is not really connected. I mean, it's the future, technically, but, you know, it's like, I mean, you get what I mean in the movie, but the nightmare scene is not a huge part of the plot, but it is a really cool part of the movie. Even though in a way it's not part of the movie. The fantasy scene, no, not the fantasy scene, the battle on Amazon, on Themyscira, between the Amazonians, the Atlanteans, Zeus, Ares against Darkseid and his army. That is so much better in this movie than that movie. You know, so much better. In this movie, Darkseid is there. You know, in the 2017 movie, there was Steppenwolf. That's one big difference, but genuinely the battle is a lot cooler. It's not that much longer, but it's a lot cooler. So yeah, it's not the same movie. There are many scenes that are the same, but even those scenes are altered in a way. There are some action scenes that were in 2017 that are either extended or just done a bit differently. There are some dialogue scenes that are the same as the 2017 version, but also they added more dialogue or different dialogue. For example, the 2017 after credit scene that is in this movie, but the dialogue is different. Alright, it's not really a spoiler, but I'm just saying. There are scenes that are the same, but also they change up a few things. And the scenes that are new, obviously, are new. So it's a different movie entirely. You know, it is a different movie entirely. I don't care what anyone says it is. I know people say it's the same movie, but longer. I get, you know, the main plot point, I get that, but there are significant changes that make it different. So that's what I will say about that. You might be thinking, is it worth 4 hours? It is worth watching it for 4 hours. Should it be 4 hours? I would say no. I would say there are some scenes that you could have cut out. That's not me saying I didn't like the movie, didn't like certain scenes of the movie. I loved the 4 hours, I enjoyed it. But I felt there were some scenes that could have been cut out and it still would have been just as good. You know? These scenes don't make it worse. They don't make it worse, they just don't need to be there. Like, there's a scene where there's people singing. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. What's the meaning of that scene? I don't know. I want to ask Zack what the meaning of that scene is. There's a couple other scenes that you could cut out. You really could. And it could be 3 hours and 3.5 hours. It could be 3.5 hours. And actually, no, you know what? I'm not sure. Because it includes credits, doesn't it? It includes credits. Credits is like 10 minutes in it. So yeah, no, it could be like 3 hours 45, 3 hours 40 maybe. You know, there's a few scenes you can cut off, for sure. It doesn't have to be 4 hours. But yeah, I am glad we got this version, because I can't imagine how much you'd have to cut out for a theatrical version of this. It would be like a BVS problem again. But it's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I'd rate it 8.5 out of 10. It's solid. It's so good. I've seen people compare it to Marvel. Not everything has to be a comparison, to be honest. But people have been comparing it to, like Endgame, Infinity War. I don't think that's really fair. I think you should compare it to Avengers, the first one. Surely. It makes sense, right? The first versus the first. What's better? I guess subjective. I like both in different ways. I honestly can't say one's better. Honestly, I can't say the Avengers Assemble movie is better than the Snyder Cut, because I'm not... They're very different movies, but also in the same category. But I love how they're different. That's the best thing. We should get different things from both. If they all made the same type of movies, it would get stale and it would just get dead and boring. Like, look at Westerns, for example, The fact that DC do movies like the Snyder Cut and BVS and the Dark Knight trilogy, and Marvel do stuff like Avengers, they're very different in tone. But the fact that they do it differently is amazing, because we get range, and fans like me who love both get the best of both worlds. So, and we get two sides, we get two different sides. It's great. It's great. So I don't really like comparing too much. I mean, if I think a movie's better, I'll say it. Like, I think Infinity War's better than the Snyder Cut. But with the first Avengers movie, I think, it's pretty close, I think. I think it's pretty close. I honestly think this Justice League is that good. Just realised I forgot to add something when I was talking about questions you might have. So I'm literally like in the finale of the movie. So is it worth the rated R rating? Well, it's not as rated R as your Logans or your Deadpools. But there is blood. There's blood when there's violence. There's not a lot of blood, but there's a little bit of blood. You know it's blood when you see it. It's not a ridiculous amount, but there's blood. There's some brutal violence. There's chopping up. Not as bad as it sounds, but things get sliced off. Body parts get sliced off, which is visual. You can see it. And there is one use of the F word, I think, and a few uses of the S word. Yeah, it's like a low rated R rating rather than a hardcore one. There's still hardcore things, but compared to other rated R movies, it's not that bad. So if you're a certain age, if you're too young for rated R, it shouldn't be a problem, honestly. If you watch the other movies, you should be fine with this. Honestly, you should be fine. So as for my review, they, as I said, they improved every character. Darkseid is in this, first of all. He wasn't in the original one. He is not in there much. He's not a big part of the plot. He is a big part of the plot, but also he's not there that much. He has one scene where he talks to Steppenwolf, and that's like 2 minutes maybe. And he's in like 2 other scenes that are like a minute or 2 each, So he's not in there that long. But when he is there, he's pretty cool. He turns up, there's not spoilers, he turns up during the movie and also during nightmare scenes as well. But yeah, he's not there that much, but the way they do him, it's like they're setting him up for a future movie, just like Marvel do with Thanos. But yeah, he was cool. He's basically Marvel's Thanos, except he's a lot more powerful. Like, I'm pretty sure Thanos has copied off him as well, so that says something. But yeah, Steppenwolf, his motivations are altered, and he looks a lot cooler, and his character's a lot better. He doesn't cry mother every 2 seconds. He actually has depth to his character, and his motivations are interesting. He was a cool character, and to be honest, I kind of felt sorry for him sometimes, considering the things that happen in the movie. But yeah, there's a few villains in this, and all I'm going to say is this has one of the best villain death scenes ever. I'll just leave it there. Alright, I'm not going to say which villain, but there is a villain that dies in this movie, and the death scene is one of the best things I've ever seen from a villain dying. Like, genuinely, it was so epic. I was like, oh, that was cool. That was cool. As for the Justice League, they improved every member of Justice League, and that's no exaggeration. The only exception I can think of is possibly Aquaman, but that's partly because he took a back seat in a way. I felt like he was the most underutilized Justice League member in this movie, 100%. Unless you include the cameo, which I won't mention. But in terms of like the team of 6, Aquaman was the most, he was the least used. At least that's what it felt like anyway. Although they added more depth to his character because they included some scenes which were not in the 2017 version, scenes that link to the 2018 Aquaman movie with certain characters. So I like those scenes in particular, but with Aquaman they mainly improved his dialogue scenes rather than his fight scenes. His fight scenes are still awesome in both versions anyway. But yeah, he was the most backseat person in Justice League. But every other character, big improvements. I'll start with the smaller improvements. Well, they're not really smaller, but what I mean is they weren't that bad in 2017 is what I'm saying. Superman and Wonder Woman. These two characters, I don't think they're that bad in 2017. They definitely should have done them better. Obviously the moustache thing, and obviously Wonder Woman, the cringy thing that Joss did with the Flash. I could name many things. But they were still, they still shone in some scenes, in the Justice League 2017 movie, which shouldn't be a movie to be honest. But in this Snyder Cut improvement, they added a new theme song for Wonder Woman, which is really cool. Gives me old-fashioned 300 vibes. And I love 300, so I'm glad. I feel like Zack Snyder's making that type of movie because there are scenes in this involving Wonder Woman, the Amazons, and even in like Man of Steel with the Krypton scenes, he seems to like making like old-fashioned type battle movies, which is awesome because I love this type of movies anyway. But yeah, they added a new theme song to her, and it was really cool. I like the way they did it. It's chilling. It gives you chills. Her new theme song. Superman, he gets the black suit. He's a lot cooler. I didn't think he was that bad in 2017, to be honest. The main issue was the moustache thing, the bad CGI. But aside from that, his words in this, his dialogue, his fight scenes, a lot cooler. He fights Steppenwolf at the end, just like in 2017, and the scenes are very similar. They do add a few scenes here and there, but very similar, but a lot better. Batman. He was great in BVS, and they turned him into a joke in 2017, but a huge improvement in this movie. A huge improvement. That's all I will say. I'm not going to say much more. But what I am going to say is Batman should always be a serious character, but he can also be funny. And if you want to make him funny, there's a way to do it. Batman has a certain type of humor where he can still be serious but still be funny at the same time. If you don't, well, you've just watch the animated movie series, I guess, if you want to know how Batman comedy works, or even the Justice League animated series, for example. I've only seen clips, I haven't actually seen the full shows, but even I know, this type of comedy. Even in comic books they have it. 2017 was just a joke. I don't know what they were thinking with that one. But in this one, there are some scenes involving Batman that are quite funny. But they're actually, they're actually quite funny. They still fit the tone of Batman. It's hard for me to explain further without, spoiling too much. But yeah, much improved, and he's a lot more serious, and his scenes are a lot better. And he has a scene with the Joker. It's from the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler, but he has a one-on-one scene with the Joker. A conversation, an aggressive conversation, and all I'm going to say is it's one of the best Batman Joker scenes you'll see. Not the best, but one of the best. It's really good. Jared Leto is much improved as the Joker. Oh my days. Compared to Suicide Squad, oh, he's so much better. I want to see more of that Joker. Yeah. We've gone through 4 members now, right? Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman. And the last 2... Cyborg. We get a lot more Cyborg, a lot more origin story, a lot more, story about him. It's to say it's an improvement, it's a massive understatement. Cyborg was bloody awesome in this movie. Bloody awesome. So much better. So much better. It's not even a joke how much better he was. The Flash. He wasn't very significant in the 2017 one, but in this one, he was a key member. He was just as important as everyone else. Like, he did something very significant at the end. That's all I'll say, actually, to be honest. But he was really damn good. Again, much improved. I feel like I was most impressed with the improvements of The Flash and Cyborg. Yes, Superman's black suit was awesome, and he was awesome in this, but the way they did The Flash and the Cyborg in this, they did them justice. and they made him look a lot cooler. So I'm very happy with that. But yeah, the movie in general is very good. If you're a DC fan, 100%. If you haven't seen it somehow by now, definitely check it out. Depending where you live, actually, in the US, HBO Max. In the UK, you need either Now TV or Sky or whatever. But if you can watch it, just check it out. It's worth the 4 hours. If you've got the time, just go and watch it, because it's it's a damn good superhero movie, and it makes me want part 2 for sure. And it makes me want more of that nightmare, that future sequence. I would love to see a whole movie based on that nightmare scene. That'd be unreal, because what they've shown us so far, it's amazing. Also, the very last scene of this movie is very interesting. There's an interesting cameo that you might like. So it's split into parts. It's not like a TV show. It's still like one whole movie, but you get cards within the movie. Part 1, part 2, part 3. There's 6 parts and epilogue, so part 7. There's 7 parts technically. So the epilogue is not part of the main movie, but it's still like things that happen after technically, including a nightmare scene. But yeah, if you don't want to, if you can't watch the full 4 hours in one go, they split it into parts. You know, it's not like a TV show. It's all one video. But the point is, it goes part 1, part 2, part 3. So when it goes like part 3, you're halfway through. You can just stop there, continue the next day. You know, it's fine. It's like chapters in a way, chapters of a book. So if you can't watch the whole 4 hours in one go, you can do it like that. But I highly recommend it. It's very good, and it's a huge improvement on 2017. It's, you know, it's not even comparable how much better it is. And Darkseid is bloody amazing when he turns up. And yeah, they did this justice for sure. And the parademons are definitely scarier as well. Definitely scarier. But yeah, there are a few things where I'm just like, that shouldn't happen, should it? There's a scene that involves the Flash and the parademon, and I'm just thinking, there's no way that's possible. There's a few other scenes where I'm just like, not sure about that. There are a few scenes where I'm just like, don't like it that much, but 98% of the movie I really enjoyed. There are a few scenes here and there where I'm just like, why is this here, or why has this happened? But for the most part, he nailed it, and there actually was good development from the characters in this. The character development in this was actually elite, very much elite. So yeah, I recommend this movie, and yeah, I can't. I've said that like 10 times now. Let's stop this. But yeah, that's my basic review. Anything more I have to say will be in the spoiler talk. The Amazons are awesome in this, by the way. They really stand out when they're in there. The Amazons are bloody awesome. If you want to know how to portray strong women in movies, Wonder Woman and the Amazons. They are so good. The visuals are nice, by the way, but I've only got 720p quality. I want to see this in 4K so badly, but I can't. I'll wait for the Blu-ray release. When Aquaman swims away from Bruce in that scene, why do those women start singing? Why do they start singing? Why do they sing? What are they singing? I would love to ask Zack Snyder what the meaning behind the scene is, because I feel like I'd get an interesting answer. I love all the scenes between Bruce and Alfred. Love them. So the scene where Wonder Woman saves the kids in London, obviously it's also a scene in 2017. In this scene, it's so much cooler. It's more or less the same scene, but they added a few extra bits that make it so much better, with a new theme song as well. It's just a lot more awesome. Also, Zack loves his slow motion. And I love slow motion too, so I appreciate it. Sometimes he overdoes it, but in this movie there's a lot of cool slow motion. Daughters of Themyscira, show him your fear. We have no fear. That scene is so epic, man. It really is. I like how they put Ryan Choi in this. I don't know much about him in the comics. I don't know much about what he's like as a superhero, but I think it was pretty cool how they used him in this. He obviously didn't suit up or anything, but they established his character, which I think was pretty cool. Wasn't he also in the Flash show as well? Different actor, of course, but I think he was as well. I love the scene between Aquaman and Volko. It's a really good addition, and it's also, you know, like a premonition, no pun intended, to the 2018 Aquaman movie. But I think it definitely adds to this movie for sure, because they do a good job of developing each character, and eventually, before making him, you know, team. They develop each character quite well, what their backstory is, etc. So this Volko scene definitely adds to Aquaman's arc. Ares should have gone for the head, man. He almost killed Darkseid. He could have gone for the head. Just saying. Reference definitely intended. But yeah, this whole like sequence from the past where, Atlanteans, Themyscirans, Amazons, as I should call them, Zeus, Ares, Green Lantern as well, where they all teamed up and fought off Darkseid, the one world that Darkseid lost. It was an awesome scene. It wasn't that bad in 2017, to be fair, but this one is a huge, huge, huge improvement. Also, one thing I don't understand is, how does Darkseid not know this was the planet that he lost? Like, I don't understand that. They conquered so many planets. Earth is the one planet that they failed to conquer. How did Darkseid forget it was Earth? How did he not know it was Earth? He didn't find out until Steppenwolf found out and told him that Earth was a planet that he lost. How did Darkseid not know that? That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, how does that make any sense? Because surely he would know. He's knowledgeable, he's powerful. How would he not know that Earth was a planet that he lost? I don't know. I don't know, but it is what it is. But later in the movie, Steppenwolf finds the anti-life equation, and it's on Earth. And from that information, he realizes that this was the world that Darkseid lost. So, I guess Darkseid knew it was there in the first place. No, he didn't know. He didn't know because Steppenwolf found out and told him. But is the anti-life equation something to do with why he didn't know it was Earth, or? I have questions about that. It's not a complaint, I'm just confused a little bit. I'm just like, wait, how did Darkseid not know about this? The Atlantean interrogation scene is quite mad. What is that spider thing that Steppenwolf has? Like, it reads, sort of projects someone's mind. It's like a projector for someone's mind. So without them telling him where the mother box is, he can just get the spider to project it from his memories, which is crazy. Kind of reminds me of Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, when they use that thing to try and read Shia LaBeouf's mind and try and get inside his head. That's a bit more disgusting than that one. This one just projects. That one went inside your brain. The Cyborg flashback scene is crazy in many ways. From the awesome American football scene, I'm not even into the sports and I found that awesome, but that car crash when his mom dies, that is brutal, man. Absolutely brutal. I bet his dad wishes he was there now. He wishes he was at that game, because then it wouldn't have happened. Because his dad's obsession with science, made him neglect his son, his family, and ultimately it cost him a lot. And even after that, he's still obsessed with science. I could see why he was angry at his father. That Mercedes that Bruce drives away with the Flash, that's futuristic. That car is unbelievable. Is that a real car? It looks like something out of Cyberpunk. What on earth? I find it weird how Cyborg just leaves them in the harbour. Like, he gets them up like halfway and just leaves. Just flies away. I guess the water stopped there anyway, but still. I know he went there to get the box, by the way. I get why he left, but I'm just wondering, like, your friends are still hanging over the edge here, mate. Get them out first. No, I'm seeing the scene now where Steppenwolf talks about the anti-life equation, and yes, Darkseid did know that the equation was on this planet, but he didn't know it was Earth. That's what I'm confused by. Like, surely if you're like any sort of fighter and you win everything, but you lose one thing, one fight, surely you'd remember that place, right? How does Darkseid not know where Earth is? I'm very confused by that. Especially considering he went there and he lost. Surely he'd remember. I just don't understand that part. Why does he not remember that Earth was the planet that he lost? I need that explained, I really do. Who voices Darkseid, by the way? Because he's pretty damn good. Ray Porter. I mentioned this as Darkseid speaks. And all of existence shall be mine. That's what I just saw. Literally as I spoke. Right, he was in Argo. Modern Family, Shameless. Haven't seen any of those. Sons of Anarchy. That's on my list, I haven't seen it yet. CSI. I feel like I've seen him somewhere before, but I haven't seen any of the shows that he's in or movies. Might have seen a couple. Oh well, still. He did a damn good job with this movie. The way Cyborg teases Superman's return with that holographic image when they talk about the mother box, it's awesome, man. It gives me chills. Oh, I just clocked the Martian Manhunter reveal. He's up next. He looks so cool, man. Martian Manhunter in this movie. He's only in there a couple scenes. It's only like a small cameo. He doesn't play a big role at all. But oh my days, he looks awesome. He looks bloody good. It is unreal. Anyway, yeah, I hope they do a part 2 because I need to see more of that guy for sure. I also want to see a Green Lantern as well. I want to see a Green Lantern. I want to see how John Stewart hasn't happened. I hope that if they do make a part 2, I hope there's a Green Lantern in there. But yeah, Martian Manhunter looks awesome. Does that pregnancy test mean that Lois is actually pregnant? If so, whose kid is that? It better be Superman's kid. I hope it is. That nightmare future sequence that Cyborg sees a vision of, where Wonder Woman's dead, where Darkseid kills Aquaman, where Superman is holding what looks like is Lois Lane's skeleton in his arms. He's upset, he's angry, and Darkseid just stands over him, gripping his shoulder. It's such a chilling scene. And you see a dead Green Lantern as well. It's crazy, like... The scene is just crazy. This is why I want to see a movie off that universe. I want to see what happens. But jeez, it's bleak, but it's crazy. Is it just me, or could the Justice League have got there in time to save Cyborg's dad? I feel like there was enough time to go and stop Steppenwolf at that time. I'm just saying. I am about to witness one of the coolest scenes in the movie, in the finale right now, and it's an awesome finale. So Steppenwolf is right behind Cyborg, and he says, "For Darkseid," and then Superman comes in, and he just stops him. He's just standing there, stopping his axe, the axe on his shoulder. Then he blows on the axe and smashes it into pieces, and just embarrasses Steppenwolf in the black suit as well, in all his glory. It's such a cool scene, man. It just came out of nowhere. I didn't see it coming when I was first watching. I was like, wow, that was perfect. That was one of the best superhero saves. Like, that was unreal. Like, we knew Superman was coming. We already knew this, but the way he came in, unreal. just so good. Not impressed. One thing though, how did he know that the axe wasn't going to penetrate his skin? How did he know? Because he just let it hit him. He just stood there, let it hit him. Like, how did he know he was that powerful? I mean, obviously he's powerful, and he knows that. But how did he know that Steppenwolf's axe from a different world was not gonna work on him? That's what I want to know. Because I feel like some weapons might work. Just saying. All I'm saying is, how does the Parademon manage to shoot the Flash? He's going at what? Almost the speed of light? Something like that? How does a Parademon catch his speed and do that? It's a Parademon. It's not meant to be that smart. Like, how I'm sorry, but there is no way that that's a lucky shot. I'm sorry, that's a lucky shot. That is not skill, that's luck. I'm sorry. How does the Parademon do that? How does he shoot the Flash while he's traveling at that speed? I know he's going in circles, but come on. The scene where the boom tube pops up and you see Darkseid turn around, ready to complete his conquest. Oh, it's unreal, man. When you look at him in his full form, he looks awesome. He really looks awesome. He looks like what Darkseid should look like, I feel. Scary. And he looks accurate as well. Not as colourful as comics, but still very accurate. So I'm now watching the scene where they technically lose. Where Mother Box is synchronized, the Flash couldn't do anything, and then the coolest thing happens. So the world at this point is over. It's ended. But the Flash can travel the speed of light, faster than the speed of light, so he can travel through time. He time travels, goes back in time just slightly, goes back in time just enough to save the world and get Cyborg in to stop the Mother Boxes But it's mad, you know, because they do lose. They lose. But because the Flash had the ability to reverse time, he managed to turn it around. That's unreal. It's like a cheat code, but you know, that's just how powerful the Flash is. But I just think this is awesome. Like, this scene alone is better than everything they did with him in the 2017 movie. I also didn't mention in the final battle where they all like come together in slow motion. It was the Batmobile, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Aquaman, and the Flash. They just came in. They all came flying at the same time, a bit like the Avengers scene in Age of Ultron, where they all come flying in at the start of the movie. I think you know what I'm talking about. I can't find a high quality picture, but I think I'll try and pull it up actually. That one right there, that shot is unbelievably good. I need a full HD, I need a 4K version of that. The way Steppenwolf dies is one of the most badass. It's one of the best villain deaths ever. Aquaman puts his trident through his body, flings him up like he's some sort of burger. And then Superman punches him towards the boom tube. And then Wonder Woman comes in and chops his head off, beheads him as he flies through the boom tube. And then Darkseid crushes his head. Unbelievable. That death scene is unreal. Absolutely unreal. And then Darkseid just looks at him. There's your enemies, mates. They're formidable, that team. I think he knows about, you know, how strong Superman is as well. Because they know about Kryptonians and how strong they can get, I'm sure. And then we get to the scene where Darkseid says he's going to Earth. He says, ready the Armada. We'll do this the old ways. So Darkseid's coming to Earth. And that is why we need a part 2. Do it. So that scene when Lex Luthor speaks to Deathstroke in 2017, it was much different. In this one, he tells Deathstroke that Batman is Bruce Wayne. That's very interesting, and that makes me want to see that movie between Ben Affleck's Batman and Deathstroke. It would have been so cool, but we probably won't ever get it. But that scene makes me want it more. On to the nightmare scene now. I remember the whole scene very well, so it's very interesting seeing a futuristic world where it's all doom in this nightmare sequence. Batman's there, Cyborg, Flash, Mera. Who else? Like, Flash is in a robotic suit as well. Deathstroke and Joker are both there as well. But the conversation... Also, Deathstroke's got a mental body as well, it seems like. The conversation between Batman and Joker is crazy. I will freaking kill you. When he tells that to Joker, oh my days. This Jared Leto performance is unbelievable. It's actually unbelievable. This whole Jared Leto performance is so good. And this conversation between the Batman and the Joker, so good. It's so good. Every time I see it, it gets better, honestly. Such a great interaction. And I really want to see more of Jared Leto's Joker, 100%, for sure. If he's anything like this Joker, yes, I want to see more of this. And the very last scene with Martian Manhunter talking to Bruce is pretty good too. All round, just such a good movie. And I'm so glad we finally got this released. And yeah, definitely worth the watch. Absolutely love it. It's one of Zack Snyder's best. Like, the only one I could consider better than this, 300. Man of Steel, maybe? No, actually, I prefer this to Man of Steel. 300 is the only one I would consider better than in any of Zack Snyder's movies. This is his best DC movie, best superhero movie. It's so good. It's amazing. And yeah, I'm gonna watch this more times. I got a Now TV month pass, so at least like 3 more weeks I can watch this movie. I'll definitely watch it a few more times. But this is my third time, and honestly, it gets better every single time. So yeah, it's great. It's a great thing. You can just relax, watch, and enjoy. It's certainly one of the best home releases, for sure. One of the best home releases you can get. But yeah, there's many great scenes, you know, badass scenes, cool scenes, emotional scenes, good dialogue, even good comedy, like when Batman says he has 6 satellites. At the time, that was a funny scene. There's many things I could think of, but yeah, there's so many good moments throughout, a few weird moments, a few things where I'm just like, I'm questioning it. A few things where I'm just like, is this needed in the movie? But for the most part, very enjoyable. So yeah, please be a part 2 one day, please. And a part 3. I need more of this. More of the nightmare scenes. I need more of the current, present scenes. And how they can avoid that future. I want to see a lot more of this universe. And I hope they restore this universe. That'd be great. It's not too late. It's not too late. Anyway, that's it for me only this week. My Wonder Woman Blu-ray has dispatched, I think. It's coming out on Blu-ray on Monday when this video comes out. So for next week, Wonder Woman 1984. I haven't seen it yet, so I'll be watching that on Blu-ray and Aquaman on 4K as well. So we're keeping it DCEU for now, but I'm moving on to the MCU very soon too. I want to rewatch the MCU in 4K on my OLED TV. Haven't done that yet. I got the whole box set, so I want to get started on that. And soon, I want to do buddy cop movies as well. So stick around. And also Godzilla vs Kong. There'll be an episode on that as well for sure. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and see ya.